Right. And Cam's a guy you're going to be playing with along that defensive line. What role do you envision for yourself along that defensive line?
It's interesting. In our meetings, coaches always is talking about stopping the run. I think they were like 14th or 15th in the league in stopping the run, and I think they want to improve on that this year as a defense. So I feel like I can come in and make an impact on that immediately in the run game, and continue to progress in my pass rush and continue to get sacks in the league. And I know that Cam and Stefan are two very dominant inside pass rushers. So wherever I can fit in when it comes to pass rush, but I definitely think that my main role will be to stop the run and contribute to getting those run defensing rankings up a little more.
I mean, you look at the returning players from that defense, and most of them are coming back from last year. One guy that isn't is Javon Hargraves. Has there been any talk of you potentially trying to fill that role a little bit, take some snaps there?
Not too much. A lot of people have seen online that I'm listed as a nose tackle, and I'd have to gain probably about another 30 pounds to fill that role. But Hargraves wasn't the biggest of nose tackles, and he just got I think $40 million. So he played that role phenomenally last year. I think he had 6.5 sacks, and he dominated at that position. And I think if they ask me to do that, that's something that I can to do. And we don't play a lot of base where that actual nose tackle is going to be needed a lot. But I know when we play Pittsburgh or when we play Baltimore, those guys fill the box with a 300-pound fullback and 280-pound tight end, and they got some big old linemen. So we're going to have to play a little more base when we play those guys. But we'll see what they have in store for me. Wherever I can fit in, I'll get in, and I'm just looking forward to getting on the field.
So as an opponent of the Steelers in past years, what did you see from their defense, at least specifically last year, because their defense took, a leap to like an elite level? What did you see being on, an opposite team that you think is going to like allow that to carry on and continue?
They get sacks. I think they led the league in sacks the last 2 or 3 years. They get after the quarterback, and that's not just the D line. That's the back end, and they acquired Minka. I think a quarter of the way into the season last year, and he's been phenomenal for them, and he's filled that void for the back end, and he's been able to allow us to get to the quarterback or allow them to get to the quarterback. Obviously, TJ and Bud on the outside are elite pass rushers. But I think with the guys that they had, and they kept pretty much everyone except for Hargraves, I think maybe a couple other guys, but the bulk of their defense and the main guys on the defense are still there. So I think that we can take another jump and continue to strive for that number one defensive spot.
Right. Well, you mentioned the in-season trade of Minka. So, I understand that it's a different type of off-season, but now he has the off-season with the coaching staff and team as well, which he didn't have last year. He stepped in
Right.
and immediately played the way that he did, which was insane.
Yeah, I think an off season under his belt now with the team, he'll be able to understand the playbook a little more. He'll have a little more freedom to move around and do what he does well, and be able to understand the defense and where everyone fits. And I think that's only going to make him a more dominant player.
Right. Not to say that you weren't productive in Baltimore, but do you feel like there's another level for you to get to individually?
Yeah, I think so. I was actually thinking about this, just how my mind works, I guess, or just thinking, just sitting around. But when I was in Baltimore, the other two defensive linemen were Brandon Williams and Mike Pierce, and those guys are totally different from how I play the game of football. Body type's totally different. And with guys like Cam and Stefan, they're kind of similar body types to me. So I'm excited to be able to pick their brains and how they stop the run, how they rush the passer, and continue to be with and move about how they go about the game, because I know that our body types are kind of similar, and how we play the game is a lot different than the guys that I had in Baltimore. Not to say that those guys weren't good. I mean, Brandon was a Pro Bowler, and I think Mike was an alternate last year. But just to be able to be with those guys on a daily basis and pick their brains this year, that's what I think I'm most excited about.
Yeah, I have our live chat pulled up here, and one of our friends came in here and said, "Ask him how to stop Lamar since that was his teammate." Yeah, like it's just that simple.
Yeah, we were never allowed to get that close to Lamar, so that's going to be a new challenge for me as well. But yeah, it should be a fun challenge to be able to stop him because not many people were able to last year.